definitely, this is definitely in a career with a bunch of great, with a bunch of great performances. Bridges, absolutely. It's like he goes because it's a thing of like you see him at the beginning, and it's one of the things. His arc is like it's just like he starts out as this self-centered, jackass narcissist, that is really, I mean, it's modeled on Howard Stern. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
it's Howard Stern.
Smarmy.
It's smarmy,
Smarmy.
this smarmy jerk off who, who just opens his mouth and things spill out.
Way hotter than Howard Stern, though. We got to
Way
give him
ho
credit where
Yeah,
it's
no,
due.
right. Way hotter than Howard Stern. And but then the thing is, I think about is that then there's the consequences where literally, like from the first opening scene where he's on the microphone and he's doing his thing and he's in his limousine and he's bored with his life and he hates the way his face looks, and he's talking to his agent
Mhm.
about doing a sitcom, and he's going to be a big TV star now, to like boom, tragedy. And he looks in the camera and he's like, oh fuck, he knows what it means. I mean, like he knows,
Mm.
he
Mhm.
knows, I mean,
Mhm.
being a creature of media, he inherently understands, the life cycle is going to eat him freaking alive like
Mhm.
hyenas, and they do, and then that's when it tracks to 3 years later. Which, by the way, and I just the thing is in rewatching it, I feel a little silly that I never noticed it before because I've seen the film probably a dozen times, but it was only in rewatching it that they're at the video store, and the meta thing is that on one of the walls in the office there is a film poster. I had one of these. I didn't have the same one, but there's a film poster for Terry Gilliam's Brazil,
Yeah, I
Oh,
noticed
I
that for the
didn't
first time
catch
too.
that.
Yeah.
and I'm like
Oh,
going, "Oh my god," "Oh my fuck," and
another
it's like,
great movie.
boom, there it is, which is another great film. And in
Yeah.
college, I had a Brazil movie poster up in my dorm room, so I loved it.
Hell yeah.
I'm thinking, the other thing is, I think, thinking in terms of, cinematography and scenes. One of the things, one of like, you asked me about moments in films that are absolutely cinematic. Okay, the waltz scene at Grand Central
Mm,
Station, where everybody just stops and the music, and then they all start dancing. I'm like, who does this?
beautiful. And
Who
Tom
Yeah.
Waits is
who
in that scene. Who doesn't?
Tom
Yeah.
Waits. Tom Waits.
Yeah.
He cast Tom Waits in this. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It is this brilliant, beautiful tale, and also it works on a lot of these different levels because if you peel back the layers, if you go back into the whole, and I don't want to give people a Joseph Campbell history lesson, but the thing with the Fisher King and Parsifal, because there's a whole thing about the Fisher King being, he's dying of this wound and he has this grief,
Mm,
and then and then this errant knight, which is what the Robin Williams character Perry refers to, Jeff Bridges, when he's rescuing him,
just knows
in the
he's
moment.
thirsty.
Yeah, and right, and he's rescuing him, refers to him as that, and then segue into the whole thing about you're saying like New York is a character. It's like, okay, so all the homeless guys come up to confront the attackers, and what do? They start singing, "I love New York in June,"
Yeah.
as this weird chorus of homeless people, but it and he winds up beating up the attackers and fends them off.
Have you guys seen
You know?
Tampopo?
Oh yeah, love
Felt
it.
a little bit like that scene in
Uh huh.
Tampopo. But to your point about the myth, did you notice where the archers strike one of the hooligans
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
right in line with the
Yeah.
myth?
Right in line with the
Yeah.
myth.
David, before we get too far, I'd like to get what is your rating for this out of 5?
Oh, I give it a 5 out of 5.